Do. All right. What's good, everybody? It is the Mad Hatters podcast, aka the Mad Hatters 530. I am your host with the wonderfulness, Queen Alexis, and all my luxuriousness. And I'm here with my boy. You know who. Y'all give it up for Devontae Davis.
What's up, everybody? How y'all feel?
Yo, and we here with our girl, Avis, Davis, the mad, the angry, the pissed off, the concerned, the straight up just pissed off, the unsober today, like me. Um, we gonna see if we gonna still be okay after this conversation. Y'all give it up for Avis, Davis.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs because they beat the Florida Gators. To all
I'm
the Gator fans
shy.
out there, baby, bye. We're number one in the East, Southeast.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
bye. Sorry.
And we are here with our guest host on tonight, the one and only, the baddest MC I have ever met in my entire life, and also advocate for everything black. Just love being black. Y'all give it up for Abdullah Shabazz. What's good, King?
Peace and love, family. Was happening, y'all?
Yo,
Hey,
man.
shout out to
Tonight,
them Georgia Bulldogs, man. They put that beating on
yeah,
Florida. Hey,
it
they
was
number
really
one in the
bad.
country.
It was really
Yes, they
bad.
are.
It was
We
that
we gonna
bad,
see
huh?
we
UGA,
gonna see how real they
UGA.
is in December when they take on Bama in that SEC championship game. You know, I got to talk a little crap on that.
Right?
Yeah, about that one. I don't know about them Bama's. You know how they are. Roll tide in the bull.
Yeah, but shout out to Georgia though. They doing their thing, man. And the Braves, cause they in the World Series. They up 2-1 right now.
All
Yep.
right. Cool. Y'all, we got one hell of a show for y'all. Jesus. So if you watching, please bow your heads right now while we pray, because this gonna
We need
be
to
one.
pray.
Oh Lord, come on. I'm gonna need some strength on tonight, because tonight we are talking about the men's rights activism versus feminism. Now, yeah. Hey Jay, what's up, Jay? Here though.
Hey.
We are talking about really much what's the whole big deal about everything. I have been researching it all week on both ends, and both ends have some good points, and both ends got some messed up points. So we're gonna work it all out through all the points and everything. But without further ado, let's go into our news segment right quick. Just a little bit of political, just a little bit of entertainment, and then we gonna get right into this conversation. We might be on here for a while. Go and get your popcorn, get your snack, get your drinks, get your pillow and your blankets, because we might be here for a while. I'm playing. I'm playing. Yo, but let's hit up in this news. First thing first, the little boy, Mr. Cal Rittenhouse. If those who don't remember him, when we was having the protests all over about George Floyd. He was the little boy that crossed over state lines um into a protest. I think it was in Wisconsin, in
It
Milwaukee,
was in Kenosha,
in
Wisconsin.
Kenosha, and
The
he was
white boy
coming.
that shot them people and walked past the police.
Yeah.
Him.
It wasn't for George Floyd, it was the other one. Man,
For
what's
That
his
that
name
was the
Jacob
from
Jacob
Blake.
Blake situation.
Jacob
yeah.
Blake. It was Jacob Blake. Um, guess what? He is just now facing trial, and there is a judge in Kenosha that told the prosecutor, and it was on like record, like somebody recorded this mug of him saying, when referring to the victims, the two guys that got shot and killed by him, do not refer them as victims, refer them as looters, rioters, and conspirators.
Yeah, that makes sense. Propaganda,
No, it
baby.
don't.
Yeah, dude, propaganda. You got to think if you can cast, and that's America's always did that to us. If you can cast us in a negative light, it's a lot easier to let a motherfucker off. If this person is perceived us as quieting down people that are disruptive, then he's going to be, even psychologically, he's going to be looked at as a bit of a hero. We're just now getting to the point where we're humanized by mass media. That's all I'm saying.
I understand that, but the two victims was white. So
That
explain
it
that one.
does it doesn't matter. That's a classic case of
That's
liberalism versus conservatives, and Wisconsin is a majority conservative state. I live literally 20 minutes from Kenosha. That's a gun tote. That state is a gun toting state, and he's going to get charged for the fact he transferred weapons from Illinois to Wisconsin. He'll get charged on that, but they're trying to lessen the case and to criminalizing the victims simply because they don't like that Black Lives
right.
Matter movement in
And
Wisconsin.
that's what I was trying to get at. That was my point. Like, I knew
That's
they
some
was white, but
bullshit.
that's kind of where I was trying to go with that.
That's some bullshit. Maybe it's what you got to say about that. Because on my end, that's some bullshit.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I said it from the beginning. I said, watch, because he's white, he's going to get hit with, oh, he's got, he was bullied, so he's got psychological problems, this and that, and he'll probably just get a slap on the wrist. But looking at it, because it is Wisconsin, they're trying it in Wisconsin. That's a great thing because, Illinois would definitely look at it a little bit different. So, I mean, you do the crime, you do the time, right?
He ain't
So
going to do
he
no
needs,
time.
he's going to do some time. He's not going to get away with, nothing. But I want to see what the outcome is going to be. Honestly, I mean, it's going to be less than if any of us did it. But he's a lot of his stuff that he was pursuing because he was working, I believe, if my memory serves me right, he was working as a police cadet with he lived in Antioch, I believe. So he was working with the police academy cadet, whatever, out in that area. And so it's like that should definitely get revoked. Like he should not be able to. I mean, you just ruined your opportunity to go into law enforcement because they're not letting anybody in the military services with any sort of background, even if it was something that was expunged, it's still on your record. They're not letting those people in. So that's just my thoughts.
This, I understand. It's just one of those.
Or
Really?
he two stamps ahead.
I I want to interject and say that I think he's going to get what I call that Derek Chauvin treatment.
Mm.
The guy that killed George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he's up for appeal next year because they're trying to decrease his time. I like Mary said, because this case is being tried in Wisconsin and not Illinois, he has a little bit more leeway. They're going to give him some time. But the reason why this is being brought to trial over a year later is because it is a classic example of how white supremacists look out for one another because they are on code.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if they gotta sacrifice a few of their own in order to maintain their prestige and their power. They will stick together, put up the bail money. I mean, the man had like 5 different Christian groups. They raised over 400,000 for that man's legal defense. Name one black person who getting half a meal for that. So they stick together. They stay on code, and this is a classic example of that. So it would not surprise me if this trial goes up for a long time. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a lighter sentence. This is how America is, and we need to recognize it for what it is.
I mean,
Sure
Jay
enough.
Enzo brought up a good point. He said that's the rich, and I
Yep.
definitely have to. I definitely have to say that beyond racial structures, from the beginning of America, like the divide with the wealth. I mean, this is a upper middle class kid or whatever like that, and the middle, the people that have money, they protect them. They protect themselves. They protect each other. You know what I mean? So I mean, I feel
Money
like there
talks.
is that system, that ecosystem in play a little bit.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, money talks. Money is the movement. Money has always been, the base of everything. To get shit done, I'll give you X amount of money just to get shit done. So I'm not surprised, but I'll be surprised when, once we get the verdict and see what actually gets. So
Yeah, yeah. It's just, in my opinion, I'm just tired of it. I'm at this point, like I've been saying all season so far. Beam me up, Scotty. Just beam me up. Just beam me up. I'm done. Cause this is with dealing with this justice system is pretty much like everybody been saying. It's just us. We get the actual penalties for and the actual consequences for these crimes, or even worse than ever. And everybody else get a slap on the wrist, and then that's it. And it's frustrating. This little boy crossed state lines, and with the intent of harming people that is against what he believe in. You right, Jay here, though the system benefits the wealthy, of course. He ain't even wealthy. This thing, Cal and his family wasn't even wealthy. It was just some,
But he's
yeah.
identifiable, and that's the thing. A lot of what resonated, if y'all ever watched like Food Fail Station or something like that,
Hmm.
um, the character who's actually a real guy, he was very relatable as a person, as a character. And I think it's the same thing in this case. When you're a relatable person, someone that others identify with, they they on the other side of that aisle, they see him as a kid that made a mistake, and they're not, by virtue of seeing a child that made a mistake, people are going to be more willing to be lenient on him. And
Hmm.
I think that a lot of the argument that we have in our community is that those same people don't see the youthful mistakes and youthful actions of a person that just didn't know
Of
any
color.
better. And when it comes to us,
It don't.
and that's
It don't.
that's I think the imbalance. I think that's a core issue when we talk about the justice system and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. So with that being said, next in just political, well, regular news and everything before we get into our entertainment one. Um, for Chicago and for Illinois, Illinois health officials issue a updated holiday guidance because we still in the panorama. No. um, they are saying to help people celebrate more safely as we continue to battle the COVID-19 pandemic. Here are some restrictions. And according to it, I know it's going to be a problem because one, they want to make sure in open areas, more public areas that is everybody is vaccinated, of course. Say here, say here. Everybody is vaccinated, of course, but also the travel consideration: delay travel until you fully vaccinated, or wait until you get a booster shot if eligible. If you're not fully vaccinated, test 1 to 3 days before and 3 to 5 days after traveling. Travel during off-peak times to avoid crowds. Drive a private vehicle to reduce the exposure to COVID-19. And if using public transportation, try to travel during non-peak times. Masks, masks are required on and in all area of mass transit. That is for the travel safety consideration. For guests and gatherings, keep indoor gatherings small. I totally agree because everybody don't need to be in your house and everything. Arrange the seating and other areas to allow for a physical distance. increase airflow by opening windows and or doors. Avoid having people congregate, such as in the kitchen or the buffet. Clean and sanitize the kitchen and bathrooms and other. What you should be doing before we was in this pandemic, okay? Everybody ain't supposed to be in your house. Okay. Jay Hendo said, enjoy the holidays with your family, build that bond. And the manipulated is sickening. You're
That's
right.
it. Here, hold on. Let's talk about this for a minute. You're gonna sit here and tell us how to celebrate the holiday, social distance, but everybody was just in Chicago for the Chicago Sky game. Mayor Lightfoot was there without a damn mask on. So y'all want to sit here and tell me don't have people in your house for the damn holidays? Look, yes, I'm gonna go there. Be the fucking example. Beetlejuice, be the example. You want to sit here and say don't have a lot of people, don't have this, don't have that, or even dementia fucking Joe. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. I'm tired of hearing the shit. Fucking tired. Have the people over. Wash your goddamn hands. Wash your hands. Bleach your shit.
That's
Sanitize
it.
your shit.
That's
Yes,
it.
I'm done.
That's it. That's pretty much it. Now, I agree with ooh what they say about in public areas and everything. Transit and everything, out crowds and everything, cool. Y'all should be doing that. Whether they doing it or not. For yourself, do it or in public. In house, I'm just saying it shouldn't be that many people up in your house because shit, not on like a whole pandemic thing, just on basic needs. Everybody don't need to be in your house, period. You don't need all that energy up in your house. You know how I'm feeling about that. Jay Handel said Obama had a ton of people at his birthday party, no mask. Nobody had on a mask. Lollapalooza. Nobody got COVID from that. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I was
sorry. We want
waiting
to do
to hear the
what?
fallout from that shit. I ain't gonna lie. It
Huh?
never happened.
Just, So I'm gonna go with Devontae, then we're going to Abdul. Uh, do you think they still tripping about this, about the gatherings for the holidays, or
I mean,
is it
yo,
fair?
check it out. We already know that COVID cases are gonna go up as we enter winter. You know, change of season, people get sick. COVID's gonna spike, and it only makes sense from a people management standpoint to remind the public to try to be mindful.
Hmm.
But I think the worst of it is pretty much over. That's just my personal belief or hope. That's my hope. You know.
Okay, Abdullah, what say you?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Mavis again, man. I heard her go in on Uncle Mo.
Not Uncle Mo, not
Yeah,
Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
I mean, I did see the photo of her at that Sky game with no mask on. You dig what I'm saying? So, plus they under a lot of fire right now. The FOP putting that pressure on their asses, man. They about to. I think they're gonna end that mandate. But far as like this whole situation, man, and regardless to holidays, just period, man. Just sanitize yourself.
That's it.
Sanitize yourself, man. I mean, it's basic common sense. Wipe after yourself, wash your hands. Me, I do custodial work, man, and you'd be surprised how many people coming in and out the bathroom. They don't wash their hands. They
They
touch their little
nasty.
weed wrappers and they don't, what I'm saying, they don't wash their hands. And, it's just crazy, man. So, I mean, just be safe, period.
That's it.
As far as that social distancing stuff, me personally, I choose to stay home alone on holidays. That's my off time, so I choose to stay away. But I mean, if you around your family, man, ain't nobody for to practice that social distancing stuff. Let's be real. You around your peoples, man,
You
motherfucker, to
around
get
your
it
peoples.
in.
Mm. You around your
Just don't
peoples.
be double dipping this year, y'all. Like
That's it.
one spoon, that's it. Like don't be double dipping just in case test anything. Come on, keep
Now
it
I'm gonna have
Don't
clean.
to
double D.
disagree with you on
Hold
that because of auntie and them stuff smacking. I'm getting me like 2 or 3 plates.
on.
For life. That's right.
Look, how about this? So we can solve all of this together. Get your place the first time you up there. Go. You come in there, you see your favorite auntie is there. You know, she got the mac and cheese or the sweet potatoes or the potato salads. You know, she brought that fire. Make your plates right then and there.
That's some fat people
I
shit.
mean, so
Like, yo, if you walk in, you ain't
it's for
prayed, you ain't
safety.
said
It's
hi
for
to nobody.
safety.
You just pulled
It's
out
safety.
a thing of Tupperware and start making to go plates.
It's safety. It's fat, but it's safety. That's it.
I'm gonna run that shit on
Ah,
Thanksgiving and see what happened.
they gonna
I,
say,
I, 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 bro, I'm just gonna be fat on them holidays, man.
thank
Thanksgiving,
you.
Christmas, and them. I'm just gonna
Thank
have to
you.
add about 5 pounds to it, man. I can always work it off. You hear me?
That's it. That's it. I go to the gym later. Look, we try to keep it distance and trying to adhere to the safety issues of this COVID. Okay, so here's my plate that I'm gonna eat right now, and then here is my Tupperwares for my next helping. Just look,
So
we
what
just
y'all
gonna be
saying is
fat.
fuck them kids, they don't get to eat
They should
because
be
your
there
grown
before I
ass
get
wants some plates.
No, I don't know about what Lex is talking about. I know if it was me, the kids gonna eat. You know, the kids we gonna make sure the kids eat.
the kids
But if
gonna
they
eat.
ain't, but if they ain't hungry for that second go round, shit, at that point, forget them.
They just gonna be skinny forever. Fuck them. I hear you.
All is fair. Look, all is fair. We made sure you ate the first time. Now you play
And we
over
gonna
your
feed
food.
and we gonna feed them good the first time, cause we know we coming back for seconds. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself.
That's it. Look, that's
At that
it.
second plate, it's fuck them kids.
Feel like sorry, the second go round is every man for themselves. That's it. Every man for themselves. First round, okay, kids first. Make sure y'all get what you need and everything. Second round, every man for themselves. Third round, you better get to it before I do. That's it.
Now, third round, it's that drinking time, man.
There you go.
We gonna be busy smoking one and drinking one at that point. We may not even get to the third one.
Facts.
The
See,
third one may just be the go away plate. You know what I'm saying? The go take home plate.
that's it. You're right. You're right. But yo, that's enough for the non-entertainment. So you want to go into entertainment? Can I bring up one entertainment one that's just been causing a lot of trouble lately and everything? Devontae, can I bring up one?
Do your thing.
Okay, can we talk about who Sydney Starr and Darius McCray? Oh shit. Okay. Okay. So it came out. People are speculating that they are together. And for those who don't know who Sydney Starr is, she is a transgender rapper. Yeah. Now, is she good? I'm not sure. We're still up for grabs with that one. But that's what she says she is. She a rapper and she transgender. Well, recently, according to reports, there was a photo shoot and they was looking mighty cozy. They was cozy, and everybody is speculating that they are an item. Even though Darius McCray came out was like, "We are friends. We ain't doing nothing. I ain't even like that. Whatever." Sydney said he been hitting that since February. So, what y'all think? Who lied in this situation right here?
Keep it in the buck. I personally don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's reality TV.
Don't.
They talk hella shit regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If I was locked in a room with City Star or Lori Lightfoot, I'm probably gonna go with City Star.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, just keep it in the buck.
Devontae, go on the quarter. Go on the quarter. Not Sydney Star and Lori Lightfoot. Really?
Look, at
Mavis.
least
Abdullah, who would you rather be in a cell with? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Hey man, I'm at the, I can't agree with you on that one, bro.
Look,
I
you
ain't
on
going with
your
neither.
look, you
I
on
ain't going with
your
neither,
that's
man.
it. You on
I'm
your
leave. I'm leaving the room, man. On that one, I just did a video on that issue today, man.
mm,
Yeah, I just did a video on that today, man. In my opinion, man. Listen, man. Darius McCray, bro, you need to own up to that for real, man. I mean, the video is obvious. You haven't it twerk all on you. You kissing on it. You dig what I'm saying? You fascinated by it. You know, just man up to it. That was the whole purpose of me making the video. Is stop. You see this closet? There go my closet right there. It's
mm,
open for a reason. I ain't got
stop.
nothing to hide. If that's what you do, if that's what you like, admit the shit. It's 2021. This whole LBGT community is widely accepted now more than ever before. What the fuck do people got to be afraid of admitting what they like and who they really are? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's a reason why your name was Eddie Winslow in the Family Matters. Your
Mm.
win is slow right now, homie.
Oh my
Ah!
goodness. Come on now.
Damn.
Come on now. All right, so you don't think that that's just media hype? I feel it just feels like media hype to me.
No,
You
man,
know,
they've been met. No, man, the reason why I don't believe that is because they've been messing around with each other for over a year and a half, man. That's not new news. That first came out 2019. You know,
I
man,
mean,
that
Mavis,
that
what say you?
far as her being a rapper, I ain't think I ain't know she was a rapper. I ain't never heard no song about it. I do know that she lied on Chingy back in the day and said
that's the
that
shit that was fucking around with
yeah,
Chingy.
she destroyed his career by claiming
Wow.
she was messing with him, and that turned out to be a lie.
So that's
Wow.
but then that further brings the question, raise the question, is it propaganda? Because if she lied, is this her next victim?
I mean, but ain't no victims. You got to think like, these reality shows and just the idea of celebrity in itself is all about um, telling lies that seem true and sensationalization and all of that. Like them niggas could not be that woman and that man could be nowhere near each other 90% of their time on set. But the one time that they in the same room at the same time, you can make it look like they're all on top of each other. And now we got, 100 different podcasters talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
also
how they
there,
eat.
right. Also there, it's called Photoshop. You can move things around, make it look a certain way. I'm just saying, I don't know who this Sydney person is. I could care less who does what with who anymore. But do you, boo boo? That's all I'm gonna say. If it's true, come out and say it. Why you gotta hide it? But then again, at the same time, like if I'm gonna be in a relationship, I don't want the whole world knowing.
Nobody's
It's
business.
true.
You
It's
know?
nobody's business.
Exactly.
And
But
not being funny, like maybe this dude is trying to you got an agenda going on top of that shit. Dave Chappelle should be the number one to remind us. So it's kind of like, we're trying to normalize the LGBT community to a certain extent. We're trying to make sure that everybody feels safe. I think it's a good look in the sense of allowing transgender men and women be a part of the culture and be a part of a world that is less hateful towards them. You know what I mean? Because we don't want that. You know what I mean? We don't want to be the same people. We don't want to say on one hand, black people are getting treated like shit and then treat our LGBT community like shit. You feel me? So I don't know.
I agree. I agree. But I want to comment on what Mavis said. But like there's certain things called Photoshop. That's on a photo. But when you have, excuse me, allow me to eh, go to Exhibit A right here. Stuff like this. That's not a photo.
That's
No, but
definitely
So
what
not
they
no
could do
photo.
is they could take, you could edit, you can look, someone who is, man, I
no,
really wish
that's
we
not
had
a
somebody.
photo. That's not
No,
a
I
photo,
understand
girl.
that, but I'm saying any video clip, you can clip it and edit it and move stuff around. That that can be done, honestly. It really can. If you
It
research it, it can be
can.
done.
Here the thing about that whole situation. He never denied that he did that. He never
He never
claimed that
denied
that was
that.
false. Never denied it. He just denied that they were in a relationship.
Right. And
He
then
claimed he said that they were friends. That's
Hmm.
to me, that's not even the issue. The issue is, hey, look, if that's what you like, that's what you like. Stop hiding it, homie.
well,
Yeah.
and that's I'm glad y'all brought that up. I feel like that should be a part of the discussion in terms of men's rights and this and that. But not being funny. It's been motherfuckers that fucked around for years and years and years. You know what I mean? And I feel like none of that is really new. None of that is really new news. Um, I think that now we're in a climate where it's an issue, whereas before people wouldn't have. I put you like this: it was 10 years ago that would have been something that everybody knew but nobody said, and
Hmm.
now it's like
Bam.
everybody's on camera 24/7, and so all of your business is in the street. You know what I'm saying?
My thing, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it is, I don't care if it's true, if y'all really doing something. I'm with Mavis on. Everybody don't want their business out there, and what Sydney Star is doing and has been doing, uh, is, oh well, I'm gonna tell the world that I'm with you, or I'm gonna tell the world I dealt with you and everything, where that other person is private, is want to be private about it. It ain't really about LGBTQ situation. It's a privacy situation, and this woman do not have privacy at all.
My
But
issue with
she,
that, Alexis, is if you are a willing participant into engaging in whatever it is with that person, in a sense, you kind of deprive yourself of any type of privacy because he had that was a photo shoot.
hmm
That was a photo shoot, and they decided to add a video to that. So you was well aware that you had some type of video footage on you. So even if you told
true.
that now, if you told that person to make this private and they broke that agreement, then yes, he could file a defamation suit on that. But
Hmm.
the point of the matter is they're still willing participants. They engage with themselves publicly with these people. So they have to share in the same responsibility as the person that's putting it out there. Do I believe Sydney Star doing all that for clout? Of course. That's the only way that we talk about this person. Only way we don't talk about them is if they don't put their name out there for attention to clout.
Right.
But when you're Darius McCray, you don't necessarily need the attention. You
You
got fame from
don't.
Family Matters.
I mean,
But
and
when
that
you're
brings up. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, bro. Go ahead.
That brings up another question, um, because that's been trending for quite some time as well. Even when they started the Shy and they introduced the trans woman character, we lost the main actor, and they had to rewrite because he didn't want to go on camera um, kissing a trans woman. So my question is, as actors, as black actors, and particularly black male actors, are
Hmm.
we saying that that's something that is detrimental to their careers? I mean, for example, you know, um, we got plenty of, like, my man from The Wire that just passed away. He played a black gay characters on a couple shows, but
Hmm.
nobody questioned his manhood in real life. So is Darius McCray like an issue because it's a reality show? I mean, he's still an actor. You know what I'm saying? This is all fake shit when you really think about it. So it's like, are we targeting him as a man, as an individual, or are we saying, like, because you're an actor and you doing this, it's now spilled over into your private life? You know what I'm saying?
we we have to put into perspective and put into consideration with the fake shit that's going on, and it deals with the LGBTQ community, that it can spill over into your personal life. And I don't think I'm personally not going after him about his manhood. It's just you two, you know better. You know how Hollywood has to find an asterisk for our black actors and actresses.
I know it's a
Everybody
bunch
else
of
can't.
look. I know it's a bunch of sisters on fucking YouTube saying, they stealing our good black men's. And look at him, they didn't
They
got it.
are. Trust me. I ain't gonna lie. They are. They are.
That's the problem with that's one of the problems with sisters as well. You cannot look at only a small percentage of brothers who are representing us on television and saying that that's the large majority of black men. Though if they stealing those black men were willing and accepted those roles and
They're
accepted that
gone done.
lifestyle.
See,
That's
we
my
can
whole
talk
issue
about
with
that.
it. Too many of our people are looking at Hollywood and television as if that is actual reality, when every last one of us on this panel knows that it isn't.
You're right. You're right. But we gonna talk. I'm glad you brought that up because we gon' that's part of our conversation for tonight's show. Any more entertainment news, Devontae?
Yeah, man, y'all know it's Halloween in the city of Chicago, and I'm just gonna put it out there. If your dumb ass walk around with a Squid Game costume and you get shot
You
or
gonna get
thrown
shot.
off a bridge, it's your fucking fault. Natural
Oh,
selection at its finest.
they tried to. They tried to. I get it's the trend, but that movie and y'all trying to depict that movie and portray that movie for Halloween and everything. That's not the one you need to do it for.
In a
When
city like Chicago, that is the last costume
you gonna get shot.
anybody should be wearing, but especially niggas. Don't do it.
You gonna get you gonna get
Don't
shot
do
in
it.
your ass. They gonna hand you that honeycomb cookie and shoot your ass. That's what the fuck. No,
Real.
let's just not do that. Anything else?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always stuff going on. What y'all listen to right now? I just want to bring up a couple things. My homegirl told me about the Wale Florian 2 album, and it is bananas. That motherfucker is so crazy right now.
I love
I
it.
fell in love with
I love
Wale
it.
all over again. That nigga went crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it
Like
is. I'm happy for it.
between that album and Do Not Judge Me, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because I'm a nigga like that. I'm man enough to admit Megan Thee Stallion, her new album, Something for the Thotties. I love it.
You know what? I
That's my
can't.
girl.
I can't disagree with you on that one. I can't disagree. She did that. She did her thing.
She's
Um,
so crazy.
isn't this her first actual album, or because I know she been coming out with a bunch of singles and everything for a
Yeah, I don't
while.
know if this. I don't know.
Uh,
I know this probably like her second album, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But
she did her thing. She did her
yeah,
thing. I
man,
get.
look, man. All I know is, and I'm not the nigga. Like I get kind of uncomfortable riding through the hood wanging, especially when it comes to certain artists like Megan or like Cardi or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no motherfucker hear me talking about dicks and shit in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that dude. But the beats is cold, lyric game is raw. Like she did her thing. You know what I'm saying?
You
I
gotta
ain't
hand it.
that
You
motherfucker
gotta
raw.
hand it to. You gotta hand it to Megan Thee Stallion, even though everybody is come all the women MCs, not all of them, but most majority of the women MCs that's coming out is on their Little Kim stuff. Let's just be honest. Everybody is copying out for Little Kim. Little Kim need to go back to doing Little Kim because right now, oh child, we gonna pray for Little Kim.
Nah, Lil Kim need to go back to being Kimberly Jones,
Man,
1995.
I don't know who this cat woman is up here, cause
We
she look nasty.
we've lost Lil Kim. She is
Look,
gone.
Kimberly Jones been gone for a long, long time. She ain't
Long
That's
never
what I'm
time.
been.
saying. She R.I.P. Kimberly Jones.
Okay. But everybody coming out on that type of energy. Not everybody, but most of them is coming out on that type of energy. Um, as far as Wale,
Yo, that whole album, front to back, heat,
love it. Oh my
heat.
god, I love it. I like it, and I've always been a fan of Wale. Wale did go commercial for a while, but he always ended up coming back to his roots of where being conscious, being more. Um, more doing more serious topics and everything, which I love Wale and also and like him, Ali Kweli, Yasin Bey, stuff like conscious artists like that, common like conscious artists like that. And we actually getting a new um incoming and upcoming artists that's coming out more spiritual, more conscious, not so much mainstream, like just being over sexualized. They more of peace and energy and everything. I don't know if y'all noticed everybody about, doing their thing on their energy, on their self-esteem and stuff, and how to bring the family back together and stuff and peace and stuff. So I like that. Thank you so much. Who I'm listening to is Tank and the Bangers. I love that little chocolate little thing. She just looks so squishy and cuddly because she cute, but she got dope ass lyrics and it's dope. I love it. And she a big girl, so of course I'm rooting for the big girl. So leave me alone.
Mhm. And
She
then
awesome.
my last piece, and we can segue into the conversation. Jada, Miss Queen Pinkett Smith, Auntie Jada. Shut the
Somebody
fuck
else this Hoffa.
up. You're
Oh my
leading them
god.
wrong, Auntie. You're leading them wrong. You're teaching the girls wrong.
Look, Mavis, cover your face because she making it bad for us. Jesus Lord. Oh God.
Hey, I addressed that Jada
Jada.
situation last year. I got a song called Entangled because I got to shout out to Jada for that one. I got a song called Entangled because of that situation.
Abdullah, this new stuff is just
Look,
wrong. It's emasculating as hell.
I,
You came out and talked about your sex life with your husband. It's
look,
not fulfilling. The
this lady,
hell?
this lady that went on the whole internet and told everybody her husband dick game trash. You know what I mean? She out here hollering at other niggas, just doing her to the point where I'm watching YouTube. And I got a question for the panel, and I got a question for y'all in the comment section. Do you think it's all right for ladies to cheat just to see if they man really loves them and is willing to forgive them?
Hell no, that's gonna make you a
No,
new episode on Fatal Attraction. Don't do that shit. Don't do
Jada
that.
did. Jada, look,
I don't look. Jada and Will are like two freaking people that are not human, or they're in that open relationship bullshit that people want to believe in, that they do not believe in monogamy. So do you, boo boo? But I don't promote it.
look. If J, Auntie Jada is a business. Uncle Will is a business. So I understand when you're at that caliber of game, you do what you do to make the relationship work, but the business as a collective, you got to keep that business running, right? Even the kids are a business now. But if you just a regular motherfucking manager of Chick-fil-A, bitch, you cheating. You cheating. You not entangled in nothing. You wrong.
You
And
ain't
I
Here,
feel like Jada telling these girls to stick, they go ahead and do what they do. And
no,
if the nigga love him, he gonna still be with you.
no.
I don't
here's
know.
my problem with the business aspect. In every business, when your reputation is savage, it is very difficult to nearly impossible to maintain that set of business. The same business that was operating thing. The thing about Will and Jada is this. I put the blame on Will. Here's why. Jada never loved that man. Never loved him. What man in his right frame of mind is going to agree to an open relationship simply because he just want that one woman? Jada never loved him. Jada's heart was always set on Tupac. What Jada wanted in Tupac, she wanted to tame Tupac in the sense of how Will has always presented himself both as a man and as a business.
Yeah,
And for years and for many years, Jada has continued to publicly disclose all of these private dealings, and Will has never corrected her on the whole issue. If that
Cause
was if I
Mama
was
Sharon
Will, if I was Will, because think about it, bro. Yes, they're a business. To me, Jada did marry Will for business purposes Because
Mhm.
as her career fizzled in the late 90s, Will's blossom. Will can still do a big movie right now if he get his mind right. But but when Jada is constantly saying all of these things, that is totally discouraging Will. I mean, the man looking old, he looking disheveled. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. We saw the crying emoji last year when he was at the red table. So my thing is, at what point do you have to get, look at the business aspect and say you got to go to another model? And,
I
and,
feel
and
you.
so, far as like trashing him and all that, I saw the whole podcast, man. Jada was like, she was on some BS talking about a man got to read her mind, whoop the whoop and all that. Like, look, man, I ain't no damn psychologist. I don't read women's mind. You know what I'm saying? But at the same notion, the fact that Will has allowed this to continue to reverberate time and time again, hey, man, I don't blame her for continue to put your mess out there. I ain't
Mm.
saying it's right, but if her husband ain't got a problem with it, who are us to say what she's saying is wrong?
I feel like this as a woman, and guess who else needed to check her is her mama. Okay, because you coming from the generation of old school and everything, as a woman, you don't. That's some really intimate shit that you don't need to tell the world about. Hell, you don't even need to tell your girls about your husband's sex game because whether it's good or bad, they're gonna try it. And for them being a business and everything, yeah, I agree with you, Abdullah. He should have checked that long time ago. Checked that mouth a long time ago. And now here we are. Your whole that is so intimate and so private. All your privacy is out. Your dick
Here,
is
here,
hanging out
here's the thing about
because
Jada's
of his
mama.
wife.
Here's the thing about Jada's mama. The reason why Jada's allowed to say and do the things that she do, her mama got that same type of frequency.
Ooh,
Her mama the same way. Her mama treated her daddy the same way. So, you're right. Ordinarily, a mother should check her daughter on that. But since her mama is benefited from it as well, cause she getting some attention and some bread out of this,
that
she ain't
ain't
got
good.
no problem with Jada doing it. And the more we continue to talk about it, guess what they're doing to Jada and Will? Putting money in their pockets. Like bro said, the business keep rolling.
The
My
business
my
keep
I'm
whole
gonna
my
rolling,
say
whole
this.
but
my
go ahead,
whole my
Shane.
whole my whole objection to it is, at one point do you look at that business model and say, no, we have to dismantle that business model because this is savaging my reputation. Will ain't
Exactly.
getting them big movies like he used to. Will's reputation is taking a big hit. And from a man's point of view, I don't care how rich or how successful I am. Anytime my own woman is making me look bad in front of the public, I gotta get rid of it.
She gotta go.
Yeah, it was a couple of things that you said in there that I thought was interesting. The first thing I want to say, I'm gonna tip my hat off. Game recognized game, pimp recognized pimp.
Hmm.
That is the second Black Girl Magic. That is the second woman I would like to induct into the League of Extraordinary Vaginas. I feel like her and Erica Badu, like they got that
Don't
type
be
of
putting
pussy
her
where
in
it's
there.
like they
Don't be
drive
putting
niggas
her with
crazy.
Erica.
Yeah,
Don't
they
be.
drive niggas crazy.
Man, she up there with Erica, man. I agree. She number two on that list.
Look, she
Ain't
put that
nobody
nigga out
topping
on the
Erica.
internet, and he's
Erica
still with her.
changed niggas, man.
Look, Erica changed guys of all ages. All she did was get August and all these young folks, all these young boys, all sprung off of Cougar
Look, she's
Coochie. That's
still in the
all it
league.
is.
God damn it, that's 2 for 2. She in the
Erica is
league of
Erica got
extraordinary vaginas.
look.
No,
Erica
she
got
three
the
for
whole
three.
universe.
She 3 for 3.
Who's
Cause
the girl?
what was that kid group back in the day? Chris Cross. One of
Yeah,
them boys from
she
Chris.
one of
See,
them.
she put it on one of them when they was teenagers, and that boy
Yeah,
went crazy, man. Jay, you
Jada,
know,
Jada or Erica?
Jada.
Jada.
See,
That boy was
young boys. Young
She,
boys though.
no, man. That special thing, man. That could fuck a young guy mind up, man. I mean, look
I
at
know.
Common. Look what she did to him. Common was a
Mhm.
hood nigga from Stony Island in '87. Got with her. This dude wearing crochet and tight pants and all that goofy shit, man. Now
Same thing
Common
for
all over the
Andre.
place.
The same
Andre
thing for
3000
Andre
wore a whole kilt
3000.
and
This
Whole
football
boy
pants.
wearing
whole
wigs,
thing.
dresses, all you know what I'm saying. But he still was a dope rhymer.
Look, but there's a difference. There's a difference. Erica made men better or more conscious of their whole being.
That's what makes
Jada
the
is cougar.
vagina even that more extraordinary. Like they getting with boss niggas and still
August
fucking
is
their
not no
heads up.
boss. August
Erica
is
made them worse. None of them men
uh,
she with are married. None
Oh
of them
hell,
cannot
worse.
sustain a relationship.
I definitely
That is
disagree with
not
that.
fruitful, huh?
Erica. I ain't gonna say she put neither one of them on, but at the same time, like yo, every se- when
Nah,
Common
nah,
started,
she
when
ain't
Andre
put
3000 started fucking with Erica, he went to the next level instantly. Common, same thing, and these is god level MCs. So when they hit that next plateau, it was like that influence of Erica, Joe.
I mean, in the I give you that from an industry standpoint. Yeah, they elevated in that aspect. I'm talking about them as men. They
Right,
ain't been the same
yeah, like
since.
they talent. I'm talking about their talent. You know what I'm
why
I
saying?
agree.
why
I agree with you on the talent, bro. You ain't got no argument with me on that. I'm talking about
see
with them as men. After she put that thing on them as men, it
and
ain't about. I mean, a woman can help you on a talent level the to astronomical heights, but
and
from a personal point of view, it can destroy your man as well.
pygmy. Who the hell gonna mount up to Erica Badu? She got the whole solar system in her damn backyard. Who the hell is gonna mount up to Erica Badu? Who? Look, we just regular women just get into self care and meditation and crystals and shit. In the past few years, this heifer been doing this since birth. She an OG out here. We ain't got it. We ain't got it.
Auntie
We
Erica
ain't
gonna
got it.
live forever. She gonna be putting that extraordinary vagina on the new nigga anytime soon.
And
Probably
gonna look
creating a
like a
whole new
vampire.
generation of superstars right now. Fuck you mean? You know what I'm
That's it.
saying?
That's it.
If
But
you're a young guy, stay away from them cougars.
stay,
Stay away from Erica and Jada.
stay away from Jada. Jada is
Stay away
toxic.
from both of them.
Get yourself together for Erica. Get your life together
Erica, how you
for
like
Erica.
Darius McCray?
Mm,
All I'm saying is, I know y'all a little older. I'm a little broker, but call me. Either one of y'all, call me, okay? Cause man, I'm ready.
we gonna fight. We gonna fight. Yo, with that being said, let's get into our conversation for today. Oh shit. Okay. You know what? I usually introduce it. I'm gonna introduce I might come in with some facts from Wikipedia or something like that, just to give a little, intellectual level of it. But I'm gonna let Devontae introduce the whole situation. Why are we bringing up this conversation in the first place? God,
I don't know. I mean,
really?
because y'all motherfuckers is crazy, and
No,
now everybody knows it. Thank God for the internet.
no. Okay, no. What is it? Is what's going on? The reason why we're bringing up this conversation because what is trending now is this thing called the red pill conversation, the red pill topic. It also stems from stuff that's been said by Kevin Samuels and a lot of other men that feel like women ain't is pretty much need to step their game up and stuff. But we also dealing with the men's rights activism, which and let's go into the nice version of this before we go ignorant. The men's rights movement is a branch of the men's movement where it consists of a variety of groups and individuals who are focused on general social issues and specific government services which adversely impact or in some cases structurally discriminates against men and boys. Common topics discussed within the men's rights movement includes family laws such as child custody, divorce, family violence, domestic violence,
Yo, you breaking up over there.
Yeah, Alexis, we lost you, sis.
He's probably gonna come
I
out,
mean,
come
we
back
all
in.
know we know what it is though. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody know. For the longest, it took forever for a judge to get like a single man, especially a brother. He had to fight hard as hell to get his kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to prove she was a whole crackhead and she crazy. You know what I mean? Like now it's a little better, but that was just things like that.
is
The
it?
fact that women are typically given a certain amount of time to have a child and bond with that child, but a man isn't. Like when you go to a job that paid parental leave, dudes don't be having that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like all that shit.
Okay, so now it's against now we're going up against the men's right movement is going up against feminism, which also deals with a range. Same thing, women's rights, including the right to vote, pub hold public office, work, earn equal pay, own property, receive education, enter contracts, have equal rights within marriage and maternity leave. Also, they are the feminists out here are also working to ensure access to legal abortions, social integration, and to protect women and girls from rape, sexual harassment, and domestic violence. So this is where we stand. This is the battleground that we standing on. Um, let's have this conversation. I'm gonna just let y'all know this right now. I'm here for the comments. Um, where should we start with this topic? Um, let's
Jada
start with.
Pinkett Smith. That's where we should motherfucker start at.
I'm gonna put you in the corner. I swear I am.
Hear that?
I'm gonna put you in the corner because okay, we're gonna get to that. Let's get to the more public situation. Let's talk about equal pay with men and women. Men, it has been noticed, it has been proven that men makes way more than women in on any job. I wish it can say it was just corporate America. It's on any job. And how it is with black women versus white women, we get paid less than them. But yet, when we're talk about with equal pay or equal rights within the workplace and everything, I get with the paternity leave as well. I totally agree with that. I think that they should have time. Y'all should have time out as well as us as well. However, with us, it's more of a health situation than just bonding with a child. I'm gonna say it point blank simple, being mama and pushed out two big head kids. Stuff is all the way messed up. Now, do I agree that 6 weeks is all that it takes for us to get back at it? I do not. Because anything can happen within those 6 weeks that can prolong the stay of it. That we might be out more than 6 weeks if we have a complication after giving birth, which is normal. It is common to have a complication before giving birth, during giving birth, and after giving birth. We got to heal. And depending on the environment of the workspace, some stuff will mess with us physically than y'all. Y'all talking about we need to have it for bonding reason. We need to have it, yes, for bonding reason, but also health reason. But
And you
let
don't
me
think
go.
that during this course of having these kids, like this dude isn't gonna be there to help you and take care of this kid and all that shit?
Thank you.
Well,
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. If you get 8 to 12 weeks off, your significant other should have the same amount of time off as you. Because A, whether it's natural, B, whether it's a C-section, we all know if you have a C-section, you ain't supposed to be picking up that baby. So be grateful that he's actually getting paid to take that time off to be with you. And yes, they should have that bonding time while you are trying to get your rest. Let him help out as well. That's called motherhood and fatherhood. Like, isn't that every
Thank you.
woman's
Come
dream
on.
though?
Abdullah, come on in it. Come on, bring it
I
in. Because
totally
I was about to
disagree.
say
I
it.
totally disagree with that premise because of the simple fact that men and women, when it comes to birthing a child, they both have different parental responsibilities. For the simple fact that a woman carries a child 9 months into her womb, a man can never understand the great lengths of pain that a woman has to undergo. So that in that regard, I believe a woman should have at least up to 12 weeks of parental leave. Now, should a man be able to have some time off? Some. But to have the same equal amount of time off as the mother, absolutely not. Because a man, regardless of if he has a child or not, he still has to bear the major responsibility into protecting and providing for the family. So therefore, therefore for the man, he should be able to um maneuver and adjust into not only taking care of his responsibilities and working and providing for his family, but when he come home, he got to accept the fact that his life has permanently changed. The moment she was pregnant, your life permanently changed. So for a man, you have up to 9 months to adequately prepare
Mhm.
to how to effectively do your part into raising and helping out the mother with the child once that child is born. Another reason I disagree is because of the simple fact nature. The moment that a child is born, they're going to have they're going to have more access and they're going to bond quite naturally with the mother more than the father. A child does that up to the age of 5 anyway. I'm
Mhm.
a father. I know that from personal experience. When my son was born, I was given 3 weeks to spend with my son, and I had to go 8,000 miles to no 11,000 miles to Afghanistan and spend an extra 7 months away from my family. Did that take an emotional and psychological toll on me? Absolutely. But I still had a job and a purpose to do because at the end of the day, the primary purpose of a man is to protect and provide and ensure that his family has some form of stability. That does not take away the fact that the man cannot come home and do for his child and his woman. Yeah, the mother's going to need help in that regard. I agree. But to say that the man needs 8 to 12 weeks of maternity leave just to help out the mother, no, I totally disagree with that. And
But listen,
go ahead, go ahead.
that's in a perfect world. But let's talk about the children that are born with special needs. That is emotionally draining just on the mother itself. There's going to be a lot of doctor's appointments, so you want the mother to be taking the child alone to the doctor's appointments? I think it should be a family ordeal. Both parents should be there because you're learning on how to deal with somebody who has special needs, whether it's autism, whether it's Down syndrome, whether it's whatever else, quadriplegic, whatever the case is. That needs to be a dual dynamic together. They need to know what's going on. Granted, I know in a perfect world that's not going to happen, but if my child comes out with a disability, I would want the father of my child to be there with me through, as much time as he can have off. If I can have 12 weeks off, I'm sorry, but he should be able to have that time off too, to bond, to help take care, because I'm being pregnant. Okay, the furthest pregnancy I've had was 8 weeks. Okay, one day shy of 8 weeks. So being pregnant for, let's just say the whole 9 months, you lose a lot of sleep on that because you're sick, you're uncomfortable, you can't get comfortable, this, and that. So when that baby finally comes out, you have your special bonding time. The mother does, but the mother also needs to try and get her rest as well. Needs to try to get her sleep. So it's great to be able to take advantage or take that time for the father of the child to be there to help take care. Or even better, these two are adopting a child. That's a whole different spectrum of bonding because
Hmm.
both of the parents need to bond differently with the child and figure out what the needs are going to be for that child as well, whether it's a newborn, whether it's a toddler, or a young teenager, whatever the case is. There's going to be a lot of bonding time within that period.
Okay, I hear you on that. Let's put it into, in a perfect world, what you're asking for will be acceptable. In a perfect world. In reality, that's not how it's gonna go at all. Um, Abdullah, right? There comes a time. Yes, the man's supposed to be out and everything, but after a while, he gotta fulfill his provisions, his provider duties, while we still heal. A lot of things come into that after them. You saying that we lose sleep, women lose sleep in them 9 months. Let me put it like this: we lose sleep since the 9 months starts. Okay, I ain't had a good rest of sleep since I had the first one. Okay, sister tired. Okay, but a lot of going back to the health issues with that. A lot of us can't just bounce back like that. Pregnancy is a risk. They calling it a reoccurring condition and everything. Like it's not that bad, but men cannot go through what we go through as women with pregnancies, and then after having the baby, what your body go through after having the baby. Can we put factor in the women that decide to breastfeed and not have go off of formula? How can they figure out how to train their bodies to go back to work when you breastfeed
But what about all the
and
women with
not leaking?
postpartum? And what about all the women with postpartum and don't want anything to do with the baby? Then what? Then then
That's
your
another.
then your significant other is back at work now because he only got 3 weeks, and now you're stuck.
But this
God
the
forbid you
thing.
don't do anything stupid, but
But
How
that's
how
it.
how
Okay.
did it lead to the woman not wanting the baby though? How did it
do you
lead to that
know how
point?
Postpartum.
many women? There's so
Yeah,
many
that
women out
happens
there
all the
that
time, bro.
have
Nah,
postpartum,
nah.
and
I honestly would like to know because if a woman has a baby and then I just would like to know if the father is there and the woman has the baby and she says she doesn't want the baby anymore. At what point did that woman come to that realization that she no longer wanted this child? Did she
there
Yo,
could
co-
be little things that
did she
trigger her.
communicate that to the father prior to making that decision? That's just what I
No,
want to know.
look,
no. What I'm
postpartum
saying,
depression is super real, and
right?
then like not, and that's just some chemical shit that it just happens or it don't. And then on top of that, bro, a lot of these women will give niggas babies just because they try to do what everybody has told them is the right thing to do as a woman. There's a lot of these women out here didn't want to get married, but I guess I'm just gonna marry this one because he the best one out here. Motherfuckers don't be wanting no kids, ain't even ready for kids, but well, I married the nigga. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and be a mom because society told them that's what they supposed to do.
It
And
could
that's what.
be
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it, it could be something as small as she's trying to bond with the baby and breastfeed, and the baby's not latching. So then all of a sudden she can get so emotional because who knows what she went through traumatically prior to. Did she lose a family member that was close to her? Did she lose a friend? There's something that happened, right? So now she's trying to bond with the baby. The baby's not latching. So now she feels like her child does not love her. The child is pushing her away. So that's when, again, you're so emotional. That's where a lot of the postpartum can kick in as well. Postpartum
But
is a real thing.
I'm not denying that whatsoever. What I'm failing to understand is that when a woman gets to that point that she is unable to cope and bond with the baby, at that point does she go to the father and let the father know of what she's experiencing and going through, that gives the father the right on whether or not to support her in that decision?
Not
Most
Okay.
always.
women, especially black women, a lot of black
We
women
don't.
don't do that,
We don't.
and
We
they
don't.
deprive the men of their true rights in fatherhood. Now,
Okay.
but I do want to say no, go ahead. I forgot what I was going to say.
But this what happens. Okay, I'm agreeing with you, Abdullah, and it's not only just I can't. You know what? I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna keep it 100. I can speak on the behalf of sisters. We've been taught no matter what. You got your baby. You had that baby. You laid down and made that baby. You take care of that baby. You don't have time to be emotional. You don't have time to be depressed and everything. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it going and everything, no matter what. So we really don't deal with postpartum because some of us can't identify that it's postpartum at all. And most sisters out here, let's just be honest, we don't have that support system to say I'm depressed. If I don't know that I'm going through postpartum depression, and you as a black man ain't never seen it before because you grew up seeing your mama taking care of everything, grandmama taking care of everything, no matter how she felt and everything, it's going to be a disconnect. So by the time she get to the point where she go, I don't want to do this no more, I'm out, she has not told the father. She trying to handle it by herself, and
And
it's becoming a barrier between her and the father, the mother and father, which is causing drama and chaos within the household for the child.
I agree with that, but it goes back to what bro said. And I want to piggyback off what bro said. The whole underlining of that is a lack of accountability.
Hmm.
The woman has to realize that in making a baby, it is a man and a woman that comes together to create a baby. So therefore, it should be a man and a woman in the whole entire process of the nurturing that baby, developing that baby. The man should be accountable on his end to ensure that despite what his woman or the mother is going through, he has to make sure that he's sensitive first and foremost to her needs, because when after she has the baby, she should be more dependent on him.
Hmm.
And as men, we have the capacity to handle that pressure. That's how men are designed. But at the same time, when a man doesn't know what his woman is going through because of a lack of communication,
Hmm.
this is where the divide in the household begins to take place. And
Hmm.
bro said it correctly. Society has conditioned women into believing that they can do it so much on their own that they don't need a man for nothing. That's pure bullshit. Because if a woman can do every single thing on her own, she could be able to have babies on her own. She can get impregnated on her own. She could be
Yeah.
able to work and provide and do everything on this earth for herself on her own. She will be able to create society on her own. And I want to piggyback to what you said earlier, Queen Alexis, with the equal pay. Yes, men make more than women. Why is that? The reason being is because men make the most pay in the industries that require the most work, that require the hardest work, and who are employed and who are um uh, uh, applying for those jobs in those industries and who are getting employed the most in those industries. Men. Why? Because men seek those jobs way more than women do.
Yeah. I mean, I got to get to the brother. Kevin Samuels even said it himself on a podcast.
And
You don't see a lot of
that's
women
not just from
construction
Kevin's.
workers and shit.
That's
You
not from
know,
Kevin Samuels. That's from Jordan Peterson,
even better.
who is the expert on this.
Even better. You know, you don't stereotypically walk past 50 women building a skyscraper. You
That's
just
true.
don't.
And that's not to say women can't do those jobs, because there are women in construction, there are women in IT, there are women in high levels of government, but women typically go for jobs that are more comfortable and best suited for them, which
Hmm.
is why they've taken over television, they've taken over HR and all that. And salute those women that's out here getting it. I'm all for a woman getting to the money. I'm all for a woman setting out her goals and aspirations. I love a businesswoman because that's more money for the house. That's
That's
more money
true.
for me and her. You know, this
But
I
is it though? I don't know.
Um, let's be honest. I feel like, as far as equal pay goes, I don't think we are in the type of society and government that both of us need to be like one getting paid more than the other one. Everybody got to be at equal because these bills is high as shit.
I disagree. That's
Just
communism. If
like
you're gonna do it
we
like that,
need
you
all
if
hands on deck.
no, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. You're gonna have to change society if you want to do that. If you want to have equal status on the whole spectrum, you got to practice communism. America ain't gonna never go for that.
I mean, look, first of all, a lot of what we do here is communism, but I digress. I definitely think that there should be equal pay.
So,
I'm not going to say that a woman shouldn't get paid the same as a man for doing the same job.
yeah.
And I cannot say that because I wouldn't want a white man to get paid more money for the same job that I did.
Hmm.
So
Let
if we're going to be fair and be equal, then we got to be fair and equal for all of humanity. We can't just
let
pick
let 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 me ask you this: if we're gonna talk about equal pay, let's say we work the same job. I've been there 15 years and I've elevated in a high position. You only been there 3. Do you truly
Mhm.
believe you deserve the same amount of equal pay as me, even though I have more time and more experience and I'm at the different level to you?
You just said it. You put in 15 years in the game.
But
If you let me tell you something. If
go ahead.
you work at fucking McDonald's, my nigga, and you've been at McDonald's for 5 years and you still the fucking fry guy, my guy, that's not the company's problem. That's not equal pay problem. That's your lack of ambition. Now, in
But
your example, 15 years in the game, you have earned your pay and those raises. Me walking in, I can't walk in and say I need to get the same money that you making, but I'm new. I don't got no experience. I ain't got no legacy, no none of that. You know what I'm
but
saying?
but that's the argument in a lot of feminism talking points. It's
Yeah.
just like the NBA, WNBA, for example. The WNBA players believe they should be paid at the same equal rate as the NBA without putting the
Where the
fact
ticket
in
sales.
that
Right.
the NBA has been around longer. It is the second most popular sport in America. It generates a revenue of over $7 to $8 billion a year. It is televised across the whole planet, and plus they have a strong union to where the players can earn over 50% of the entire league's revenue. That's why a lot of players got these high salaries. The WNBA, in comparison, does not hold equal weight in the
They
space.
don't
So
generate
because
revenue for that.
but
Right.
but the women believe that they should be paid in the same capacity as the men.
Now, feel me. In that example, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna disagree with you. I would say in that particular example, that's some shit that's got to be scaled.
Hmm.
So if you got a LeBron James top tier player, then and you have a woman that's a top tier player, you got to scale that shit down. It still should be equal, but relative to that environment.
I disagree because of the simple fact if you're going to scale it down from what LeBron James is making to Candace Parker of Chicago Sun. Shout out to the Sky, man. Y'all did y'all thing this year.
They
Shout out
did.
to y'all.
They did.
But if you're going to say that LeBron's caliber is on the same level as uh, Candace Parker, who has less attraction to the public and brings in way less revenue than LeBron James, and put them on the equal paddle, it's not equality.
I'm not
Because
saying you put.
because in order to obtain equality, both of them have to be the same. In this
That's what
matter,
I'm
who
saying.
loses? The men will have to lose out and have to sacrifice so much in exchange for women to be on the same playing field.
Right. But when you do it to scale, that means that whatever Candace Parker made in relation to what the franchise makes, and that should be right on par with roughly what LeBron makes based on what his franchise is doing. See what I'm saying? So it's not going to be exactly the same check, but when you put it to scale, her
But
50,000 is adequate to
now now now
his
do
2 million.
now I will agree with you on that regard. 50,000 a year for a WNBA player is too low. But when you
Definitely
factor,
agree with that.
but
For
that's
one, for
that's
sure.
that's not but that's not the men's problem. That's not the NBA's problem. That's something for the WNBA to figure out on its own. Because and no matter how much money, because the NBA finances the WNBA. It's the NBA is the reason why the WNBA is afloat right now.
Right. But
Because
where's the bread
it
from that?
donates over 25 million each year to help keep the WNBA coming to ground. What I would suggest is that more women should be publicly endorsing and embracing the WNBA so that they have the popularity, which in turn creates revenue, which then the players in the WNBA can begin advocating to be on a equal playing field as the NBA. It may not top the NBA in overall revenue because we talking some billions, but far as that scale what you was talking about, it will bring it much closer. I agree in that regard, but I don't agree with we got to bring LeBron's down just to elevate Candace Parker's.
Hmm.
I'm just using them as an example. I'm not using them.
I agree. I agree with more women should advocate about that. The problem that we come against with the WNBA, and when we do advocate for more exposure that we have had was a lot of men talking about here come women trying to do a men's sport and um defeminizing us as women because we want to play basketball. We can shoot, we can dunk. Y'all just tripping. Okay, we can still do the same thing. It becomes more of a personal attack than just an economic attack. So that hill a lot of us women have died on and become very frustrated with that because as soon as we start talking about it, here comes an attack on our femininity because we
Now,
just want to play
now, now,
basketball.
now, now, as a brother who represents the men first movement, who has some form of red pill awareness, I would
Mhm.
say those men are fucking idiots.
Thank you.
Because women have some form of athletic ability, especially the black woman. You ain't got them thighs and them hips and them curves for nothing. God made you perfect
Baby.
the way you are. All right.
Baby.
Only thing I would say in that regard is men and women are because they are genetically, biologically built and designed different. Men are going to have more of an athletic ability than women. That does not mean that women aren't athletic. That don't mean women can't hoop. You know, I watched some WNBA basketball. I'm an avid basketball fan. I remember back in the day, man, when I used to hoop, I used to get my ass busted by a female. So I know women can do it, and for those women that feel those men are doing it, you got to take a hard look at those men. Them motherfuckers are probably bitter and angry because they couldn't get the type of women they want. And so they want to have all this hate and vitriol over all women. That's the dark side of red pill. We
Hmm.
call that a red pill rage because they
Hmm.
still ain't got over being hurt and being broke and getting their hearts broken over a woman.
That's true. That's true. But it also goes into football as well. Did y'all know we have a league?
Yeah, but it goes back to what I said earlier,
Yeah.
sis. See, if you want to get men to be on women's side in regards to these sports and these avenues and these fields, you have to have women advocate and promote it. You have to have women embrace it. Why do more women embrace the NFL than the lingerie league? And I ain't gonna lie, if they had some sisters in
Why
that
is it
league, shit,
called
I'll
I've
probably like.
lingerie?
seen a
It's just
video for that
sad.
shit.
It's
So that's
just
a real
sad.
thing.
That's the real thing.
I
It's the
thought that was
simple
like some
fact y'all
private
call
party
it the
shit.
lingerie
Nah, that
league.
shit real, bro.
It's the simple
Wow.
fact
Like
that
I
we
saw the
call
That
y'all
videos
the
for it.
lingerie league, and we gotta be scantily clad to play
Oh, I seen it. Oh,
football.
I love it. I
yeah,
don't remember
yeah.
video of it.
Hey, but I don't watch it because they don't have black women in it. I'm sorry, you can
There's
call
some
me
black
racist.
women.
I'm
There's
race
some black
first. If
women.
they ain't, man, they ain't, no, 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 no. They gotta have some real sisters in that.
Yeah. They gotta have some thoroughbreds, some
Yeah,
wowzers.
they gotta have some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But 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 again, it goes to look. You look at the NFL. Look how barbarious and brutal the NFL is.
Who else can do football but us? Would you rather we just tackle you on the damn field than to body slam
Now,
you on
no,
Walmart?
that
I
goes
don't
into
want a
the
woman that's gonna tackle or body slam me in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
that goes into the double standard, man. I mean, hey, look, if she give me and she tackle me, she tackle me. But if you coming at me, you got the ball, I'm on defense, I'm gonna tackle the living hell out of you. And that's where the double standard comes in, because then they be like,
Yeah,
oh, she a woman, you
you
wrong for
can't
doing
hit
that.
her hard.
Bullshit. This NFL. See, if we talking about equality, right? We talking about
Get your padded on.
look at track and field.
Yeah,
It aren't women
yeah.
complaining about transgender women coming in and dominating a sport? I think that's unfair. I think that's
Yeah.
unequal. Trans should have their own shit. No, I take that back. Since they were biologically born men, they should go and compete in men's sports.
And I mean,
Wow, that's a
I
strong statement, brother.
mean,
I stand on that because
but I
think about it,
mean,
bro. Transgender women who were biologically born men already have an unfair advantage over women
they do.
because of the fact their chromosomes are still of a man. I don't care how much surgical procedures you get done. That XX chromosome in you lives in you forever. So that automatically gives you an advantage over a woman in a woman's sport. I
Just
mean,
think about it.
but think about it too.
It's a
Hollywood predicted this shit 25 years ago before we now started to see it surface. Go watch the movie Joanna, man, and then come holler back at me.
You right though.
Yo, I remember that shit.
You right.
Joanna, man, the man was a bum in the NBA, got kicked out of the NBA, went to the WNBA and dominated the damn league. That was unfair. That was unequal. But because the women accepted it, they perceived that person to be a woman. And now when that person dominated everybody, now they want to cry foul. No, it's called karma. You get what you get what you asked for.
Mm. I mean, for is it really karma with us women trying to be more politically correct?
What is political correctness?
You gotta respect some who y'all decision. Like there is no respect for us. That's the reason why we come out with it more with transgender men and women. However, it's like an overboard now because we did accept it, but
Since we
it's the
speaking on
karma.
since we yeah,
Damn.
since we speaking on the issue of feminism, this is where black women got it wrong. Feminism was never feminism was never the black woman's fight to begin with.
Mm.
Let me break down some
Oh,
history
break
to you.
it
Now we
down.
really fit to go in.
Yeah, yeah.
Prior to World War II, feminism was a fight between the white man and the white woman because the
Yeah.
white woman felt that the white man had way too much power, and she was correct.
It was
World War
never
II
us.
comes about. All the men are overseas in Europe and in the South Pacific fighting in World War II. The government allowed the women to come into the factories and help out with the war production. This another history lesson. This is how the military industrial complex got started. That's who really
Hmm.
runs America now. But
Hmm.
I digress from that. After World War II, the second wave of feminism, because the first wave was during the Civil War. The second wave of feminism comes in, and what did white women do? What did the system do? The system decided that they had to bring the women in the workforce because when you have both the man and woman working, they both pay taxes. They both
Hmm.
feed back into the government.
Hmm.
And when you feed it to the government, you feed it to the true power structure, the elitists. But little did the men and women, regular working class men and women realize was that once women started working, they started demanding more rights, which I don't disagree with. But with black women entering feminism, Y'all took white women's problems and put it up on your own. The black man ain't
Slave.
never historically oppressed the black woman.
Ooh, okay.
Never, never, no. He's never historically oppressed the black woman. I ain't talking about woman beaters and all that. I'm talking about from a historical and from a systematic point of view. The black man never had that much power to where he could just tell his woman that she couldn't work. No, during slavery, the black man and black woman worked side by side in the cotton field.
You right. You
After
right.
slavery, when the black man was getting lynched, the black woman was working inside of these rich, racist white people homes. When the black man was working in the factories, even after World War II, the black woman still had some type of job. She still had some type of responsibility to contribute to the household. And fast forwarded to the 1960s, now we got the civil rights movement going on. You know what the government decided to do? They introduced a welfare system, told the white feminists, introduce this to the black woman.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the black woman wasn't going to turn down welfare assistance. Why? Extra money don't hurt coming into the household. But what the black woman failed to realize and accept, that when they accepted that welfare, periodically and systematically, it removed the black man from the home.
Okay.
This was all created by design. White women were aboard on it because at the time they needed allies. And once their needs and their expectations were met by the 1970s, that wave of feminism began to die because women was working more in the workforce. They started to divorce more. They started to have alimony and child support more. Black women took that and ran with it because they thought the white women were their allies. In the whole essence, the white woman was using and manipulating the black woman into having her on her side. Now let's fast forward to 2010s, Me Too movement. Notice in this Me Too movement, who are the main perpetrators of these famous people? Black entertainers, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Russell Simmons. Those brothers' careers are done and destroyed. Now, whether they guilty or not, hey, look, if they guilty, condemn them. But nonetheless, white women started this Me Too movement not with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. They started it with Harvey Weinstein, Jeff Epstein, and all of these other rich billionaire white homosexual predators.
Okay.
And they went back to the same tactic that they used in the 1800s and in the 1950s and 60s. They had black women come on their side and ally with them. So what the black women started doing? Oh, they found some brothers to go after.
Okay.
And now this is how feminism has done. I can only speak from a race first point of view. Because what the white man and white women goes through in their households, I have no say so in that. I'm not white. But I know what feminism has done in the overall scheme of black society. Feminism has helped to contribute to the demise of the most important factor of black people. That's the family.
You're right. You're right.
Because think about it.
However,
I just need to say this right quick, sis.
Okay.
Because after white women got their rights, after white women got their little jobs and their little power, you know what they did? They went back home to their white husbands.
True. But this is the thing. You're right. I agree with you with everything you said. There are some points that I have to disagree with you on this. First, let's talk about the Me Too movement. Just stating facts. The Me Too movement was started by a black woman dealing with sexual assault. How it became more mainstream is these white women coming after Harvey Weinstein and everybody else, and it got sidetracked
I agree with
from the
that, but
real victims.
did it get hijacked though once it went mainstream?
Yeah, it got hijacked in a motherfucker.
Exactly. So once white women start including their problems into it, it becomes compromised at that point. Now, I'm not against black women wanting to go after perpetrators of sexual assault and domestic violence. As black men, we have a responsibility to get these motherfuckers ourselves. Any
But at the
black
same
man,
time,
any nigga who's out there committing any type of hurt, harm, or danger to any woman, children, or young man, they deserve to be condemned, punished, or whatever. I'm not against that. But let's keep this in mind as well. Men are victims of the men are also victims of domestic violence. Men are also
mhm,
victims of rape. Men are also
mhm,
victims of sexual assault. And that's not only against men by men. Some women commit this. And some
mhm.
transsexuals do it as well.
Eh, yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. But it is not in
But
that aspect. It is not put on the men to make sure that you don't be put in those positions
and
like it
why you
is
say
for us.
transsexual specifically? Like,
There
I mean,
are
you can now
some.
I can understand if you're saying like
I
it's
say it
not.
specifically because I'm a victim of it.
Oh,
Oh
I'm a
wow.
victim of it. I addressed that in 2018 at a
oh,
at a domestic violence rally. And they
oh,
were shocked. I said on live, I don't care. And back in 2007, when I was in the army at the age of 23, I met a person at a club who I thought was a woman. Looked just like a woman. I couldn't even see the Adam's apple. Went back to that person's crib, got a little tipsy, laid on the bed. That person performed fellatio, and then once that person got on top of me, I felt that person thing down on my leg.
mm.
So I was sexually assaulted. And you know the greatest thing I did, brother? I
What's
could have
that?
easily no, I could have easily attacked and killed that person.
Right.
Had I done that, I would not be on this podcast right now.
That's true.
The
That's
best
true.
thing I did was to tell that person to get the hell up off of me.
Yo, you call the police and all that shit?
No, I didn't because at the time, you gotta think about it. This is in the
Yeah, they
2000s.
wouldn't have rolled for that shit no way.
That was
They thought, yeah, yeah.
brother, I went for years thinking that I was the proud of my own manhood simply because I allowed myself to get put in a position to get violated. The main person who convinced me that it wasn't my fault was my own mother and also my son's mother. Because I told her the story. And she said, ain't nothing gay about you. You all
No,
man to
no,
me.
there's none. There's none at all. But dealing
But
with
but but it took me years to get counseling. Because as a man, we handle these situations differently than a woman does. A woman has the resources, and rightfully so. But when it happens to a man, society tends to want man to just man up and
Suck
just
it
take
up,
it for
keep it
how it is.
moving.
How the fuck can you do that?
But you
That's an
can't
emotion.
say that. You cannot say that it's not the same thing that's happening on women as well. We gotta not only suck it up, but we gotta watch what we put on. We gotta watch where we go. We gotta watch all this stuff where it feel like we don't have a say so in anything. Y'all, there's men that are in power that is pretty much putting out the propaganda when it comes to us getting raped. Where were you? What did you have on? Why
But but
did
but
you have that on? Where were you coming from? Were you
you,
intoxicated?
you
We get
said the you
interrogated
said
more than as
you
victims.
sis, you said the key word. Men in power. Men in power does not represent the entire spectrum of men as a whole. I will send a link to Jordan Peterson stating that statement where he said men in power have pushed this propaganda on certain standards for both men and women, and it's destroyed men and women as a whole. Men in power came up with this whole women should work and get put on the same equal basis as a man. Men in power came up with this whole feminism thing that hijacked the civil rights movement. Because regular men like me and bro on this platform, we agree that I think that a woman should present herself respectable, but I'm also a man. I like when a woman look good and sexy at the same time. You dig
It's
what I'm
still
saying? and I don't tolerate no man approaching no woman in a disrespectful manner, regardless of what she has on. No man has the right to do that. However, what we're suggesting is that as women, when you present yourself in that matter, you're psychologically tapping into a man's sexual organism, whether you want to believe it or not. All men don't think like me and bro. We got the discipline to say, no, we ain't gonna approach her like that. That's a woman. You know what I'm saying? But some men don't. So it goes back to the whole accountability factor. I'm not saying a woman has the right to dress however she want to dress, but you have to be mindful of how you dress when you're dressing in that fashion.
Okay, can
You
let me
know
ask you
certain
this.
shit coming at you.
Okay,
Right.
let me ask you this. With that being said, can you say that that accountability factor can also go into religious aspects, religious organizations as well? Because do you know that do you see how suppressed we are with that? Let's talk
Like
about Christianities.
I mean, but he said
That
it. Men in
is,
power. I mean, straight up. Who has more power than God? And better yet, even more power than God. Who got more power up next to God? The guy that believes that he could talk to God.
mm, great point. Great
mm.
point. Let's talk about Christianity. Let's talk about the Bible.
hmm
Let's talk about it. I mean, in the Bible, it points it out plain and clear that I know. Well, I'm gonna go from it from an Islamic point of view. In the Holy Quran, it states that the woman should have an equal saying in both marriage and divorce, in the family structure, how she dressed. But the Holy Quran emphasizes modesty on both the men and women. So it doesn't discriminate from a man and woman's point of view. Christianity in the Old Testament says the same thing.
It does, but
But
also
but
to the
like
point
like bro
where
said,
yeah,
these religious leaders that are on top, they propagate a different view than what those religious scriptures put out there in those books. I
yeah.
mean, let's look at the Catholic Church for example. You got the Pope. The Pope is the main one in charge of Roman Catholics, right?
hmm
Why are so many of his priests and shit out here raping kids when that's clearly against the Bible?
It is.
That's not. There's nowhere. There's no verse in the New Testament that gives any adult man the right to violate a child. But the Roman Catholic Church does it, and they do it at the high level. And who ultimately consigns that? The Pope.
Mm. Not only that, but also our position in leadership within the church.
But leadership overall, unfortunately, when people are put in a position of power, power can corrupt. Malcolm X. How was Malcolm X destroyed? Malcolm X was destroyed because in one area, when he found out that Elijah Muhammad violated his own rule, and his rule was not to commit adultery, Elijah Muhammad did it and tried to hide it. That's corruption of power at the highest level. And Malcolm X found out about it and eventually exposed him for it. So I agree with you. When people are positions, how it doesn't matter whether it's religious, because a lot of politicians go for this bullshit too.
Mhm.
When the upper echelon of leadership is corrupt, unfortunately, it trickles down at a rate to the rest of society. But
Yeah.
there are still certain segments of society that don't believe in that. I don't advocate for that. You know, my thing is I don't even believe in equality in men and women. I never have and I never will. Why? Men and women are not equal. I
That's
can't
true.
you can't produce a baby you can't take my semen and put it in and take it with you and then skeet somebody else and get pregnant. No. And I can't carry a baby. That
Well,
alone makes
I
us
would
not
say
equal.
this: the word equal doesn't mean that they can do the exact same thing. I personally believe men and women are truly and genuinely equal. And when I say truly and genuinely equal, We're not designed to do the same things. But life cannot exist without both of those parts coming together.
That's not equality, brother. That's balance.
It's
That's
a
That's balance.
balance.
literally
That's,
called equal.
no, equal by definition. Equal means same. Equal means if I got 5 cents, you got 5 cents, sis got 5 cents, we're all equal. It's just like Rockefeller. At
Mhm.
one time, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and Biggs were all equal partners. Why? Because they all each had a 33% 33% ownership in the company. They all had an equal say. Why you think Jay-Z can't get his masters from Rockefeller? Why? Dame still owns a third of it. He has an equal say in that matter. So if Jay-Z tries to buy it, Dame has the right to deny it, to turn that down. Whereas with men and women, women are superior in lots of ways that men do not profess. I mean, that men do not own or profess. And men are strong and powerful in ways that women don't profess neither.
Well, so
I
according to
agree.
Oxford, equal being the same in quantity, size, degree, or value,
We're
having
not
the
equal in
ability to
value.
resource, have the ability or resources to meet a challenge, right?
Men
So
and men and women are still not equal in that
that's
regard because by the
how
time,
is that even fucking real, dude?
huh?
How is that even fucking real, dude?
What
We're
you mean? I mean, think about it. Who's more emotional when it comes to men and women? Men or women?
And you don't think that that
man.
emotion being charged in one way and not in the other doesn't create balanced fucking human beings?
It's balanced. It's no different than a negative and positive battery connecting together to make some shit work. Put two
Which
negatives
means those
together, that
two
shit ain't
things
gonna
are,
work. That's
which
not equal.
means those two things are equal.
No,
We need each other in order for said thing to work.
I agree. We do need each other. But when you say, but you just said the Oxford definition in quantity and value.
Right.
Women don't. We're still not equal because look at the
Not in
quantity.
value.
There are way more women than men. Where the equality factor in it? There's none. Because
Also in value, we're not
let's say if
equal.
every brother married the sister, right? Because of the fact there are more women than men, there's still going to be at least 2 million more women without a husband, unless they want to share the man, which I do advocate.
I'm sure you do. Here's
Some of
my
y'all
thing.
don't. Look
Here's
here.
my
Some of
thing.
I'm gonna say this. Some of y'all don't need to have two women at the same time.
I
Y'all
agree.
can handle the first
I
one.
agree.
You ain't gonna
I
add on extra. Don't do that.
Now
Don't do
I
it.
agree. Just because a man can have more than one woman, I agree. Most of these men don't deserve. They don't even deserve one woman. A lot of these men don't. A lot of them don't.
I have a real problem with you saying that women are not equal to men. You know,
We're
because
not.
I grew up in an environment where characteristics, as far as strength of character, yo, my baby mama showed exemplary fucking strength of character. My mother showed exemplary strength of character. And none of these, and I've seen so many examples. My grandmother, my aunts, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen so many women, right, in my own life that showed exemplary character beyond what the male counterpart was doing, right? So I can't say that there was nothing in me that would say that men and women are not equal.
And,
But
and,
this the
and, and,
thing.
and, and
Hold on.
But
Hold
go
they
on.
ahead.
Let
do
me get it
different
on this one.
things. They
Let me
serve
get it
different
on this one.
functions, but still, if there has they equal, bro. They gotta be.
Okay. Even though us women, especially us black women, can show those exemplary characteristics and child rearing and taking care of business and keeping a roof over our head. When I tell you, for us women, we are not valued. Because explain why we got to do it on our own. There's some time, which also brings me back to my other one when we talking about the welfare system. With the welfare system, that's I've been hearing it a lot. A lot of women been hearing it a lot. It broke up the black family, and I have had some of my my white female counterparts, like y'all didn't have to really take it and everything. But when you give a woman, you put her in a position where she gotta survive no matter what. I get then. Explain now. Because now we gotta go to the welfare system because we have some of our men that literally just leave. And
Let
they
let
say
me
it's because of our mouth or it's
let me
because of
break
our attitude and
let's
everything.
go
Explain
back to
that.
the let's go back to the beginning of the welfare system. Now, I said earlier that it does not hurt to bring extra income inside the home. At the
But then
time,
it hurt the ego.
but ask those women 50, 60 years ago, did they understand that at that time? The answer would be no. The
I don't
women
think
only no
I don't think
because
all of
when
them did.
I'm well, mate, but I disagree with that because according to the 1965 Mormon report, there were only 20 to 25% single mother households in the black community, which means three
Yes.
out of four black men were present in the home. What welfare did was the man wasn't opposed to bringing the extra income. He and both him and the mother were most likely unaware that when you took that government free money, the government ultimately put the bug in the woman's ear that the man couldn't be there. And for the most part, the man did everything in his power to stay there and only go away when the welfare people came. And
That's
Yeah,
what that
true.
and
yeah.
what they did over
That's
time,
true.
and what they did over time, the welfare people started catching on, so they started coming back more and more and more. So over time, the man just eventually ended up leaving. That's only one component as to why the black family structure ended. Another
Well,
factor,
we know
Okay.
from
Vietnam,
J. Edgar Hoover,
that
and all
too.
them. Like we know that
COINTELPRO,
there was a direct and very explicit plan to eliminate the black family, to destabilize the black family, and quote to prevent another black messiah from arising.
Tis
So
true.
COINTELPRO,
Tis
COINTELPRO.
true.
we know that that machine has become even more effective and efficient.
And over time, what this did for the children was, with the lack of a father present daily in the household, it took away some forms of masculinity, especially with the boys, and but in some segments, femininity in the woman.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and that's a great.
Yeah.
Because guess what the woman had to do? Just like bro said, you said you got exemplary, spectacular women. I do too. But at the same time, though, my mother, my grandma, my stepmom, none of them could teach me manhood the way that my father and my grandfather could.
Right, I feel you on
I
that.
was I was blessed to have that, but I come from a single mother household too. It took me to go to the military to have to understand the true principles of manhood to survive and function on my own.
Yeah,
Most black men don't have that because when they grew up in a single parent household without the active and involved presence of a father, they lack the true sensibilities of masculinity. The women and the females, they lack femininity as well. Why? Because mama had no choice but to be strong. Mama
Mama had
had
to
no
survive.
mama had no choice but to do what the father was doing in the first place. She had to step up, and that put a whole lot of pressure on the women. I remember back in the day, man, my mama used to be crying in her room because she ain't had no man. I remember that, man. That motivated me when I got grown to make sure I don't struggle. But I didn't. But at the same time, it trickled down generation after generation after generation. And also not only with that, but through the use of the government's propaganda, we wanted to continue to destroy the black family through Vietnam, heroin, crack cocaine, imprisonment, gangster rap music. That's all propaganda. And now look at what we see today in 2021. We see women way more masculine with masculine tendencies and characteristics than ever before. And we see more weakened black men. My whole thing is you can't necessarily fully place the blame solely on all black women. That is unfair to sisters
Mhm.
as a whole.
You're right.
Some that blame also has to go to brothers because I'm a man and I will stand on this to the day I die. If you were man enough to get up with that woman, if you was man enough to shoot in the club with that woman,
Shoot the
you should be
club up.
man enough. You should be man enough to handle your responsibility into providing and taking care of that child. That woman shouldn't have that. But we also got to keep in mind relationships do break up. But I think both men and women as a whole, and I say we both equal in this sense,
Mhm.
we fail to fully realize that when if regardless if the man leaves or if the woman leaves, when you have a separated household, you have permanently sabotaged the full true development of a child.
Yeah.
And that don't take away from fathers that's doing great. I salute all my brothers that's doing great. But at the same time, even we gotta admit, man, we never signed up to be no part-time daddies.
We ain't signed up to
If
be no
if we
part
had
time
it
mama.
exactly, exactly. And so we have to be able to, you know what I'm saying? And far as our generation, we already the etched our egg in stone.
Hmm.
We're gonna have to sacrifice for these next generations coming up. We're gonna have
Hmm.
to start reinstilling in them that our way failed.
Hmm.
It don't mean we don't love you. It don't mean we ain't there for you. We are. But it's up to us to help instill in you that this is not the way to go.
Just
And,
true.
and, and this is a major problem. And trust me, sis, when it comes to the red pill, trust me, it's a lot of disagreements I have with that shit. Cause they like, man, don't leave black women alone. I ain't for that. Nah, I love that.
No.
Last question. Last
Go,
question.
go, go ahead, bro.
Do you feel that the red pill is, or the red pill conversations are being more helpful in terms of being able to develop relationships between the sexes, or less helpful?
I think what the red pill does, it gives men more awareness of female nature. It gives them a more awareness of what females can do. As far as relationships, a lot of red pillers don't even advocate it. So in that sense, no is not helpful. But we have to look at the strengths of red pill. Red pill simply means for men to just become a better version of yourself. I make content twice a week on YouTube, and I tell brothers all the time, improve mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and intellectually.
Hmm.
That's an individual basis. As a man, you should develop for yourself first and foremost. So when it comes to red pill content in that regard, I think the red pill is useful because red pill originally started out for men to become better versions of themselves. Now, when it comes to dealing with women, there are some red pill content creators that just tell men to just be aware of some of the BS these women be on. I ain't got no
Hmm.
problem with that. But there are some content creators that say if you got a good woman, if you have a woman who has proven herself of respecting you, loving you, and has shown to you that she wants you and only you, you treat her with the same dignity, respect that she's giving you. And I'm an advocate of black love because I want black relationships to flourish. I want to be in one myself. You did what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I want to have a black family. If I still got that burning desire to want a black family. But I will confess that there are some red pill content creators that don't advocate that, but instead they advocate for men who don't want to live that life to just do a free agent lifestyle, and that's your own personal choice. But
Hmm.
I think it's hurtful in the sense of using all of your talking points to just constantly complain about women. Man, if you're a grown man, you still complaining about women, you may need to go to fucking counseling for real, for real.
Okay.
Miss
Cause
J,
man,
what's
we come up, look, man. Ain't no man that ain't been done wrong by no woman. Ain't no man that been hurt by no woman. We get that. But at the same time, we gotta stop saying like, oh man, this woman ain't no good. This woman ain't good. Listen, it's a lot of women out here that ain't on shit. A lot of women will say a lot of women ain't on shit.
Right.
But at the same time, we got to be realistic. A lot of people take these internet, social media messages and shit too seriously.
Yeah.
Right. For
Yep.
sure.
If it ain't positive and productive, why the fuck is you even listening to it?
You right.
For sure.
You right.
Miss
So
Queen,
my
what you
stand,
think?
so to answer your question, red pill is helpful for men that just want to improve and better themselves as men. That's why I've been a part of it since 2012. But never at one point have I said, "Oh man, I'm done with black women," or "I ain't fucking with these women." No, because I'm still a man. I still love women. I still love interacting with women. I love still being intimate with women.
For sure.
And but
That's
we
great.
just encourage men to just be better men,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, the onus is on us. If men are upright and they building and producing, you think a woman ain't gonna follow that? Of course she is. Cause she gonna be like, damn, I ain't got no good man. I got a great man. I'm fucking with him. And if you
What I think about
and
it, what I
go
think
Yeah.
go go
about
ahead,
it,
go ahead.
what I think about it, and we're gonna end it out right here and everything. I agree with Abdullah. You just said everything that I was about to say. It can help more when it is going on accountability, and it needs to have that red pill conversation. Need that type of red pill conversation needs to be had more on women as well. Because you're right, we be on our bullshit. I'm gonna be honest, we be on our bullshit. Um, and it also can be less helping when you dealing with those men that is out to just against women. If you got this, you disqualified from a good relationship or a high class man or this and everything. When it's more negative than positive, them people need to, like you said, um, therapy for real, because that's not bringing together the relationship with men and women, or especially in the black household. It's not bringing the household together in unity. It's tearing apart when you just want to go at each other's flaws and what y'all do and what you do and everything. Who suffers in that is the children.
I agree. I agree. And at the end of the day, um, men and many women still desire a partner.
Yes.
They
Yes.
still desire someone they would want to be with. The problem is, especially us as black people, we're holding on to so much trauma and pain, and we
Mm.
refuse to let it go for whatever reason. I don't understand. We still refuse to let it go because we have this vendetta against each other. And like you said, sis, when a man and woman, especially if they're in the same home going against each other, the person that ultimately suffers the most is the
It's
child,
our children.
because the
Yeah.
child he or she may have resentment towards their father, or if they knew that their mother was vindictive towards their father, vice versa. And we have to come to grips that we cannot allow that to continue to happen. I'm a
Are you
proud
right?
red pillar, but I ain't a red pillar in the sense that I don't love women. I love women. I love communicating. Matter of fact, when I leave this podcast, I'm finna go be with a woman right now.
Okay.
I'm finna go hit the lounge and go be around some women. So
Man.
but as far as like men's rights and feminism, um I'm more on the men. I'm me as a man, I'm gonna obviously represent for men, but at the same time I am realistic,
Hmm.
and and I'm not gonna be this type of person where I just totally agree everything with what men say. Men,
Hmm.
like far as parenting, far as men having rights over their children, it's unfair that men got to fight through this court system just to get rights over their children. But what I would love
Well,
for
let's
women
talk
to,
about that right quick.
okay,
Let's talk about that right quick, and then we're gonna end it out for real this time, for real.
okay,
Um,
okay,
the court system, the family court system. Um, a lot of men believe that the court system will always tend to the female, to the women. That's not all the way true, because
correct.
now more women are ended up on child support or ended up dealing with custody battles as well. Not more in recent years, but like over time. I think that I honestly believe with the court system, it has been played as a pawn between men and women just to get back at each other. I think it's
Um,
another method as playing the child as a pawn between the men and women because they in their feelings. I honestly think if we gonna get divorced, because I've been divorced and everything,
I
um, I advocate for um pretty much joint custody
agree.
because it will eliminate all of the dramas that goes with, oh, she got full custody, he's not custodial, he got to deal with child support, he got to deal with visitation, and if she and her feelings, all of that get compromised and become complicated. Same thing goes for some men that act like that too. Everybody get joint custody, that's unlimited visitation. It takes out child support. Everything is 50-50, like it's supposed to be.
I'm gonna
But
tell you. I'm gonna tell you my situation. I never gone through the court system because two consenting and responsible adults should real in an ideal world, two consenting responsible adults should come together and have an agreement with each other on how they want to properly and adequately raise and spend time with their child. That's what me and my son's mother have. When we broke up, we sat down, we had an agreement. I would pay a certain amount, but I would have a certain amount of time I have with my son.
mhm.
Because I told her I'm not going through the white man's court system. White man did not help me to create my child, so the white man has no say so into telling me how to fuck to raise my child.
But like he
But
was
since
not there when I made him.
exactly, but
Okay.
that's an ideal situation. That's an exception rather than the rule. What I wanted to say was on a microcosm level, you're right. The court system does make it appear as though it's pitting men and women against each other. But from a
Mhm.
microcosm point of view, this is how the system was designed to begin with. The men and women ultimately lose in this situation because the system is a $50 billion industry. No, correction, $500 billion industry. That's documented from the movie Frustrated Too. Mama's baby,
Mhm.
daddy's maybe. Um, the court system, they did this even with the welfare system. All of this is aligned all together in this chronological time order. When the welfare system was introduced hard on the black community, child support started to come into play.
Mhm.
Because it wasn't affecting white people as much. With black people, the system decided that they were going to be able to financially compensate their whole entire system off of it. I mean, look if you go to court today, what's the biggest courtrooms? Like you go to Markham,
Family
for
court.
example, what's the biggest courtroom?
Family court.
Family court, and that
Family
and that
court.
thing be crowded all day, every day.
Long lines.
And,
Long
and, and,
lines.
and the system don't care about it. The system don't care whether or not it's outdated or broken because they ultimately financially benefit. They don't, yeah, the woman gets a part of it, but they still taking a chunk from y'all. So
I'm so
it
glad you said that because I don't know why these people keep on thinking, or some of these men think that we getting these, y'all paying these astronomical amounts and that we getting all of it. We are not.
no,
We
no,
are
no, no,
not.
no. The ultimate win, no, because it's not even the woman that. In a lot of cases, it's not the woman that pushes the issue of getting more money. It's those lawyers, those greedy lawyers that your ex-wife got or your baby
You can
mama
get
got
more.
that
You can
pushes
get
that issue
more.
because they are also major players in that same system. They know what the hell they doing. But at the same time, women cannot deny the fact that there are some vindictive women out here who just want to get at the man simply because he don't want to be with her.
Yeah, yeah. And there are some men that doing the same thing too. And
They
it's
they
just that's like,
they are here the difference though. A lot of women will congratulate that woman for getting back at the man. Most men we ain't congratulating that man. We be like, dude, you should be able to get it out the mud on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, Mary J. Blige, her husband. I ain't celebrate that shit when he got that
that's some
alimony.
bullshit. That's some bullshit.
I disagree. I disagree. She the breadwinner. He managed her career. He deserves something.
But I'm not
But
gonna pay no
I
child
ain't,
support.
I,
That ain't no kids, not mine. They ain't not my kids.
oh, she paying child support for a kid she ain't even have by him?
She is paying for his child support. That's
Well,
up
yeah,
in
that's
the
bull.
name.
Yeah, that's
That's a
bullshit.
bullshit. That's
That's
a
bull. Yep.
bullshit.
And they don't have a child together, right?
No, no,
Yeah, no, well, that's on the system, man. That's BS right there, man. I don't agree with that at all. But a lot of men, we wouldn't. Most men ain't gonna encourage other men to, to like when we go to court, we just want visitation. We want, and if the mother is incapable of properly raising a child, then we go for full. But for the
that's
most part,
right.
we at least want split custody. We ain't gonna be out here trying to milk our baby mom. I don't. I ain't never asked my mom or my baby mama for no money.
But there are a lot of people, and I'm
Yeah,
saying both men and women, that play that system just to further hurt each other because we ain't together no more, which caused that this stigma on the family court system. Because yeah, we got these lawyers and they going go for more, go for full custody. Y'all still go at it, and who gets damaged in the process of it is the child.
yeah, I agree. The kid gets damaged
I
the most
I
because
advocate for split custody because it
not
eliminates all of
not
that.
not not only that, sis. As men and women, as adults, once we separate ourselves out of the home, we still have to co-parent because
Still,
we are still responsible for the proper upbringing of our child. It's just going to be different. It's going to be a little more challenging, but it's not
yeah.
impossible. And we have to be able to coexist together as parents. We ain't together, true that, and I ain't in the home, true that. But at the same time, whatever anger, whatever what kind, what however you feel about me, man, put that shit leave that shit to the birds.
We
Let's
gotta
work
take care of
together.
ourselves.
Let's work together so that we can be there for our child. Because at the end of the day, we still love our child, and we don't want, like for me, there's gonna come a time where I have to tell my son the truth as to why me and his mother broke up. And I'm proud to say, when we first went on, my son called me.
Hmm.
When you was doing the entertainment report, my son
Hmm.
called me. He was like,
Hmm.
Dad, Daddy, what time we going bowling tomorrow? And that made my night. That's why I'm on the road right now, because my son inspired me.
But that's how it always should be supposed to
Exactly.
be. That's why because majority of the men's rights activism and feminism, when it dealing with family court, that's when it gets messy. And this right here is conversation what we just had is the plain and simple solution for that. It's not about your feelings. Women want to get compensated for their love and in the divorce. I'm like, you gave it freely. Why he got to pay now? You gave that thing up freely. Why you got to pay now? Brandon been saying this to me for the longest. We're gonna be tied at the hip for the rest of our lives
And,
because
and,
our
and, and,
children
and he's
still
absolutely
need it.
correct. And let me put some red pill game out there to you suckers out there, man. If a man got a child with a woman, he like my bro said, he attached to that hip. And guess what? If he really wanted to, and if she really felt some type of way, he can still get deals at her if you want to. Why? Because they got something implanted with each other forever. They got a child. They are connected for the rest of their lives, whether they hate each other or not. Now, will I advocate it? No, not
No,
me, because my baby mama could come at me because I'm like, look, we can't do that. If we gonna do that, we might well be together.
but like that's gonna be complicated as hell if you ain't trying to be with me. Gone
But
somewhere.
but I will say this: it's gonna be tempting
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
still a handsome man and she's still a good looking woman. So I ain't gonna lie, that thing gonna be tempting. But
See,
you know,
see, you right.
if she catch me if she catch me lit at the wrong time, it might go down. But at the same time, though, we just got to learn how to work together. And yeah, child support court can be messy and stuff like that,
It's
but
messy as fuck.
but let's be realistic about that as well. No, more women um initiate that than men.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say something about to them women. Let me put it like this. I love y'all. I love my sisters. I love my girls. Y'all my girls. But let's be honest here. If you can't afford to put your child up in something else that's expensive as hell, why you think that he can? You see some of these women after they all break up with the child about to go to school. Now all of a sudden, my child deserves to be in private school with this high ass tuition. And who they come to? The men. Let me up my child support so he can pay for that tuition and everything. Heifer, you can't afford that. Don't do that. Don't do it. If you cannot, if you gonna put a price tag on everything, every single thing, that is unnecessary to the essential things for that child, you being petty and you just being greedy. Go and get it by yourself. Get it out the
And
mud for yourself, sis. Stop playing.
and the last thing I want to say on that, there's no, you should never put a price tag on your child, nor the father of your child. The man is
Thank
much
you.
more valuable than just a financial come up a resource. We
Thank
are
you.
not just only be to be used for money. And on the same notion, brothers, stop only looking at these women. And there's many problems men get into. They get
Hmm.
with these women because they look good, got banging bodies, and get them knocked up, not properly vetting and evaluating the woman.
And find out
You
she
don't,
crazy as shit.
you ain't
There it
even have
go.
to. You're not, for my young boys out there, man. You better start communicating with these females. Start communicating with them. Get to know them. Y'all ain't gotta rush. Trust me, bro. I understand that you want to hit that. I'm a man just like you. I see a fine woman. That's gonna be the first thing to come to my mind. Real talk. But at the same time, I'm man enough to differentiate my lustful sexual desire for a woman as opposed to actually getting to know that woman.
Mhm.
Cause at the end of the day, I ain't fit to lay down with no batshit crazy person.
Thank you.
And women,
Thank
stop dealing
you.
with these ain't shit ass men
Thank you.
who ain't doing nothing for themselves. Stop trying to build and mold. See, I wish this was a different topic because we could have went to some
Oh, we gonna talk
man to
about that.
female relationships.
Oh,
I
we gonna
cause my
talk about that one.
Stop trying to build and mold a man. You cannot build and mold no man. The only thing you can do is help a man enhance himself in your life when you on your A game. When
That's
you
it.
when you on your A game and I'm on mine, it's a beautiful thing. We
It's
powerful.
wonderful. It's wonderful. I can tell you, it's wonderful here because that and dealing with that, we gotta. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna drive it home in here. It's a balance. Everything got to be a balance.
Yeah.
What we dealing with this whole men's rights activism, feminism. Oh, men matter. Women matter, and everything is going on different extremes of the spectrum. There is no balance. That's why we at each other about stuff that because there is no balance at all. And when it comes to the family and it comes to the home, I think now we here in 2021, it's about time for us to get back into balance.
I'm gonna
For real.
finally say this as far as men's rights. I understand the premise of where they're coming from because they do want to have some type of voice or some type of say when it comes
Yes.
to, the active involvement in the lives of their children. I'm wholeheartedly with them on that, and I support them in that regard. When they start getting having this vitriol and this animosity towards the mother or women, I can't advocate for that because, like we said, sis, it creates chaos and confusion. To me, men's rights is just a response to feminism.
Yeah.
But in what way are we looking at men's rights and feminism? Are we looking at it from our point of view, which I don't think we are, or are we looking at it because somebody else started it long before we started to do it to each other? And I think it's the latter. So my thing is, um, black men and black women, we obviously got problems. We got gender wars like crazy. But at the end of the day, we still at large desire and want each other, but all this anger and this hate, man, that gotta go. I don't want to
Mhm.
deal with no sister that say niggas ain't shit and I hate men and all that. That automatically turns me off from you. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be telling these young men out here like, man, forget all these women. Don't trust these black women. These black women shit, da da da. No, because they are good brothers and they are good sisters out here, and we should be proper in acknowledging them and putting them on the pedestal where they rightfully belong, because they can serve as the right example for us to progress as a people.
Yep, you're right. You're right. Well, thank you, Abdullah, for coming on. My two co-hosts had to go and everything, but I love having this conversation, and
I was gonna,
we need to have some more. We're gonna go deeper into this.
yeah, I was gonna say, man, I hope I ain't drove them off, man.
No, no, they just had to go. Devontae had to go, and I think Mavis felt ill and everything.
Oh man,
So
hope she feel
because
better.
we would have been right here on here,
Yeah,
but
hope she feel better, man. And
we
I'm
gonna
glad.
come back. We're gonna come back on this topic as well because I might have a show dealing with women to ask have feminism really helped us.
Yeah,
And
I would love, me personally. I honestly, for the most part, I don't do content that I speak to women, and from for the most part, because I tend to want to help more men, but
mhm.
I'm not opposed into uh speaking to women. In fact, I've got videos where I encourage women, man, to embrace themselves, embrace their natural beauty, uh to not mess with these beta male simp manginas.
We
Them,
gotta talk about that too.
you
Because
know, and
that level is interesting. There's the alpha male, beta male, and then there's a sigma. Is there a data?
man,
There's an iota.
alpha and sigmas are more closely aligned. But my thing is this: I look at it. Betas are nice guys that just get used, and alphas, we great men that take charge and take control of the circumstance of the situation. But let's keep it real, and I'll be honest. I've been a beta male. I'm not. There's no shame in that. I, I've I've been used by women before. I've been weak
We're
at
gonna
one
talk
point.
about that. We're gonna talk about that because where y'all see that hierarchy, I want y'all to hear it from us. What that is for us, because it's
and
gonna be
and I would and
interesting.
I would like and I would like to break that down to women, because women gonna see it from a different point of view. But I would love women to understand reason why men have a hierarchy, because of the simple fact men function way differently than women when it comes to order, discipline, and respect.
Yeah.
There's levels to this.
But we gonna get to that. Thank you for coming on, and y'all, thank y'all for rocking with us and everything. There's gonna be some of y'all that's gonna listen to the playback of this. Please, by all means, share it because this conversation needs to be had. Cause it's too much shit going on with this, and yeah, I can't wait to continue on with this conversation. Meet us back here 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern at the Mad Hatters. We gonna hit up coming out with these topics. It's gonna be good. Yo, what's good? The E to the N to the D. What's good? Tony Briscoe. I need you on here for that one when we talk about these hierarchies and everything. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's gonna be interesting. So y'all meet us back here every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time,
Oh,
9 p.m.
hold
Eastern.
on, sis. Let me answer that question. What bro just put, what Endure just put. Yeah, you
What's
do.
this, man?
We
Oh.
military, bro. There's a hierarchical structure where we come from.
Ooh.
It come from E1. Come on, man. I used to be in NCO. E1, E9. That's a hierarchy. We know
Ooh.
some.
So we gonna get on there. We gonna get on there with that one. I love y'all. Love y'all. I will meet all of my vibers, Tuesday night vibers on this next Tuesday for the Mountain Queens Court open mic. Abdullah come through and vibe out with us. It's always a good
Yes, indeed.
vibe with there.
Yes,
And I
indeed.
will see y'all on next week. Much love. Shout out to the king. Abdullah, thank you for rocking with me on tonight. Man, you are always here. You are always welcome here and everything. But we're going to get into that conversation right there. Yes.
Peace,
Love y'all.
peace.
Love y'all. Love y'all. And we are out.